Did that look familiar to you? And when we finally get our dog, we are frustrated and we put out this negative energy to the point that it reinforces the dog's thinking that coming to you is not such a good idea. And then, unfortunately, the problem gets worse with time. So, what do? We need to recondition the dog to learn that us reaching for their collar is a good thing. For new puppy owners, the process is the same and should be started as soon as the puppy begins wearing a collar. Just a safety note, when you have a very small puppy, it's okay to place a collar on the puppy for training, and I would start that right away. But for safety, please don't leave the collar on the puppy when you're not training the puppy. We just don't want the puppy to get caught up on something, and unfortunately, the puppy can then become seriously injured. When you are fitting the collar, use a breakaway collar and make sure it is loose enough that if the puppy is caught on something, it can slip out if necessary. Is how do I initiate teaching what we call a collar grab? And the way we want to do it is, first of all, I want to make sure that I have something yummy for my pet. Secondly, I have her on some type of a leash so she just can't run away from me, so I can actually keep her here, but really unrestrained outside of I just have a leash so that she doesn't want to run on me. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm simply going to go underneath her collar and gently touch her collar, yes, and reward. Alrighty, so nothing big. I go underneath, I gently touch her collar, yes, reward. Notice I'm only doing it for just like a split second. I'm not doing it for a long period of time. Reward. So all of my fingers, maybe minus my thumb and my index finger, actually go underneath the collar very gently. Underneath the collar, just for a moment. Yes. And then I mark and I reward. This sequence is a oopsie. This is a big no-no. Oh, look what I have for you, Ruby. Come in to grab her. Okay, that's a big no-no. Because now she'll start to go, oh, I see the reward. You're going to grab me. I don't want you to grab me. So I'm conditioning the brain. Having the collar grabbed, yes, is a good thing. Not, uh-oh, that treat means you're gonna trap me into coming over here and I'm not falling for it. All right? So no food in your hand either. This is another big mistake people make. They have food in their hand and then they try to do this collar grab and now the dog's head is moving all around because you have food in your hand. So no food in your hand, collar grab, yes, then go and get your reward and pay your pup. Okay, right? So then, usually, when we're going to do a collar grab, usually once we go to do a collar grab, we're going to do it with a leash. So I want her to hear the sound of the leash. Hear the sound of the leash, yes. She gets her reward. She hears the sound of the leash, yes, reward. Okay. Once she gets comfortable with that, then I'm going to go do the collar grab, snap on the leash, yes, reward. Grab the collar. Now I can do it kind of in any way, right? I can go over the top, yes, reward. My yes was a little slow there. Grab the collar, leave the leash on if I want to, yes, reward. She's just seeing all of these collar grabs and fussing with the leash and everything. Doesn't mean anything bad's going to happen. Yes, reward. Yes. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to go over and do a collar grab with her, and let's see what we get. Perfect world, I walk over, she really doesn't know that I have food on me. I go over and I grab her collar. She allows me to do so. I pay her, and then I move away from her because I don't want her to think that I'm actually capturing her when I'm first starting to teach this concept. I want to be able to walk over, collar grab, good girl, nice work. And I'm going to reach in, then I'm going to pay her. always trying to capture her, if we're always trying to capture them and then put them somewhere, the dogs get wise to that really quickly. So I want a collar grab to not mean, ooh, I know what happens after this. We want her to know, hey, maybe you might get your freedom after this. Maybe we'll go on a walk after this. Maybe we'll go in the house or whatever it is. So I come up. Yes, good girl. That was so good. That was so good. Nice job, Mama. Good girl. So the other thing I want to point out is when I'm teaching a dog we're working on a collar grab, but there may be times too where you actually want to call your dog in to take the collar. So those are two very, very different behaviors. Those are two very different skill sets. So when I'm teaching a recall or come to me, I make sure that I have a line on her, a leash, a long leash on her, so that I can really follow through with my request of asking her to come to me. And so that's a little mistake that most people make, is they have their dog over there and she's over there smelling something really yummy, and then I try to call her back to me, and I'm not more powerful than whatever it is that she's smelling. If I go to her, she might move away from me. So two separate things. What we're focused on today is just the collar grab itself, and then later on when we start asking for the recall to the collar grab, that's going to look a little bit different. So really important that once she allows me to come over and actually grab her collar, and I mark and I reward it with the word yes after I've grabbed the collar, I mark it yes, and then I reach into my pocket and I get a reward. I don't want to do this. I have a piece of food in my hand and I go, here, puppy, puppy, here, puppy, puppy, here, puppy, puppy, come over here. And then when she comes over to take the treat, I grab her collar. Now this will start to become a cue that means, you're going to grab my collar, you're baiting me, right? That can become entrapment. So we do not want this to become something where the dog goes, oh, now I see this, you're going to get me, right? Or I'm trying to bribe my dog to come to me. We don't want it to become bribery. We want it to become a learned behavior, that nothing bad happens when I walk up. I grab my dog's collar, yes. And then I move away and I pay my dog. The other thing I want you to note is that when I come in and I grab her collar, in the beginning stages of when I'm first doing a collar grab, when we'll break this down, is I'm going to go from underneath, not over the top. So coming up over the top is a lot more threatening than coming up from underneath. So notice how I start by coming in, and I'm not running, I'm not yelling at her, I'm not calling her. I'm simply just coming to her, touching the bottom of her collar, yes. I mark with the word yes, and then I reach in my pocket and I hand her a piece of food. And then I move away so that she doesn't think anything big is going to happen outside of that. We've practiced it at a real calm setting where we're doing lots and lots of different touches and payments, and we're starting to add the leash. She sees the leash, she sees the leash, payments, hook, unhook, hook, unhook, hook, unhook. Now when I go to try to go over and actually grab her by the collar, and we're not grabbing hard, but we are actually touching her collar or touching her neck so she's not getting worried. I would come over, hey Ruby, good girl. I grab that collar, on that leash, same thing, take the collar, unhook, yes. I walk away, try it one more time. Try to do everything calmly and fluently. I don't try to grab her really hard. We do lots of practice. It's really calm. Now she has a leaf. I don't care that she has the leaf. I'm not going to take it away from her. She can have it. I just clip her on. Yes, reward. So again, I'm not trying to take this from her. We're still practicing. She can have her leaf if she wants it. Yes. Do everything nice and fluently with her so I don't come in real harsh. So if I come in with a lot of energy and I'm telling her stay there or whatever, then she's going to start to have conflict within my coming into her pressure, her social space. Now I'm creating a lot of body pressure, and now she's getting worried. What are dog's going to do? They're going to want to move away from us. So we want her, as I come in, I to clip that on, yes. The other reason that I don't run in and take her little leaf from her is I don't want that to be conflict. I'm working on one thing at a time. That leaf is not going to hurt her. It's not going to create any problems. So right now I'm isolating a collar grab. I'm not isolating collar grab, take her leaf from her. Right? I want to be able to come in without her having a lot of conflict. And then we can work on drop-its or leave-its later, right? I don't want to create, now I come in and we're doing this work and now I'm taking stuff from her. Now I cause more conflict for her. You come in, you release it. Yes. Mark. Okay. Carol. Nice job. Good work. Alrighty. Snap. Alrighty. But you want to do this slow and easy. You want to use a high value reward for her. Again, the biggest mistake, people have food in their hands and they're trying to do all this with food in their hands. Get something in your pocket, get a bag and sit it next to you, and now do this nice and slow with your dog so that later you can do this. I want to be able to come in. Yes. Good girl. That's so good. Come in. Grab that collar. Yes. Well done. So many times we will do a collar grab because we want to put our dog in a crate, and that can lead to a very negative association. Here, what we really want to be able to show you is that going into the crate is a wonderful thing. Good things happen when we ask Brant to go into the crate. Then when I release him out of the crate into a collar grab, that adds as a layer. So we want to be teaching two different things here. One, he'll come out to me to be collar grabbed, and number two, when I then turn and send him back into the crate, he'll go in there with good energy and not like, uh-oh, you're sending me into the crate, I'm not going to do this. So here, he gets paid for the collar grab, and then I'm going to set him up to go right into his crate on signal, on cue, right here. What we are trying to produce is we want our dogs to be able to go to their crates with enthusiasm instead of, oh, this is a prison, or it's purgatory, or I did something bad. That we want to be able to use that crate as a tool that they want to run to because good things happen. And so then, yeah, we are able to use it for them to sleep in or rest in or have a little management with. But it's really, really important that we do all of these fun little things with our dogs so that when we do ask them to go to a crate or do a collar grab or do a recall, that the dog finds something in it for them and it's fun. It's not like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble or I'm getting put in there because someone's frustrated with me. So have fun with your dog. Make this a really fun experience with them. Practice, 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 practice with it. Use their food, use some high value rewards, and your dog will start to understand these behaviors and they'll be enjoying it and they're going to get better and better and better. So those are some tips on how do you learn to show your dog a collar grab is a good thing, not a bad thing. Alrighty, so take your time, break it down into those little pieces, and that's why I say sit in a chair, have your dog on a leash, and just take your time. Go underneath first, that's less threatening. Pay, underneath, pay, then to the side, right side, left side, and then underneath, right side, left side, and then gently over the top, pay gently. Because a lot of times when you're going to grab your dog, you're going to be grabbing them from over the top. But don't start with over the top. First, make this a fun, non-stressful, non-conflict behavior that you're trying to actually teach your dog's brain. All right? So have fun with that. I hope that helps. Your dog will love you for it.